I'm Sharon and welcome to Food in a Flash. This week we are cooking a health-conscious meal. It's delicious butternut and feta muffins, a crispy baked fish with a dill sauce, a lovely Japanese vegetable soup, and we're finishing with a green bean and sesame salad. As a self-taught cook and cooking teacher of 27 years, I have a passion for what I do. And as a mother, I know how rewarding it is to see my family happily tucking into a wonderful meal that I have prepared. I also know what it's like to be a busy mom and still have to think about getting dinner on the table. It's not always easy, but it doesn't have to be complicated. That's why I started teaching and writing cookbooks, to show people just how wonderful it can be to cook and enjoy and still have time and energy to do the important things in life. So I hope I can get you to become confident in the kitchen, have fun, and above all, create some beautiful, simple meals that you and your family will absolutely love. So what I've started doing is slicing my carrots for my Japanese vegetable soup. This needs about 20 minutes to simmer. So I've got my pot on with some boiling water. I want to make a stock, and I want to put some chicken breast in that stock so that they can really give it lots and lots of flavor. I'm just going to bring it to a boil first. So the chicken breasts need to go in whole. We're going to fish them out later and shred them if we want back into the soup. The water's already been boiling, so all I want to do is really flavor that water and just give it lots and lots of taste. I'm going to add some stock powder, a chicken stock powder. I've got some delicious fresh ginger. You know, when it's fresh, it's not stringy. You can actually see how nice it is, and it doesn't look old. So what I'm doing is just slicing it, and I'm going to put the whole slices in so that I can fish them out later. I just wanted to give it a beautiful aroma. I was slicing the carrots, so let's pop that in. That gives you color, and whenever you do Chinese, if you just slice at an angle, or Japanese actually, if you slice at an angle, it looks like it came from the Orient. These just need a little bit of time to soften, so in that 20 minutes they really should cook. We have some mushrooms, and if you want to use some oriental mushrooms, those are also perfect. I like to actually slice the stem and then just slice the caps. These I'm just going to cut into pieces, also at an angle. Then we'll add some sesame oil. The sesame oil flavors the soup, so it's quite a nice dark sesame oil. I've only got about 2 teaspoons in here. I don't want to overpower it too much. And I've got some miso paste. That's basically ground soya beans, and the miso paste is available in the Asian section of most supermarkets. We'll put about 2 tablespoons in to start for flavor. It's a thick brown paste. You get yellow, you get red, and you get brown, and all it's going to do is give me a really nice flavor to my soup, and I can add some more later if I need it. So I'll pop the lid on there. Let that come to a boil, turn it down to a simmer, and we'll leave it for about 20 minutes. And let's boil these noodles in another pot of boiling water. They'll literally take 5 minutes. As you can see, they're very thin. They're Chinese egg noodles, and they're just going to give me a bit of body for my soup. Basically, that's all there is to this. We're just going to wait for it to boil. Wow, this smells amazing. I'm going to take my chicken breast out of the pot and shred one to put it back, just to give me a little bit of body. And then I'm going to slice some spring onion and coriander to give me color. I need some greenery in there. They're quite hot, but I'm just going to shred it very finely. It'll automatically soften and shred a little bit more in the actual stock. I think 1 breast is enough. I don't like too much chicken. And then we're going to cut up some spring onion. I actually need most of the green because I want color. And the coriander wilts quite quickly, so I'm just going to throw it in at the very, very last minute. But I have some baby spinach, and that actually can just go in like that, also just to give me a little bit of green. Wow, it looks fantastic. Now that's a meal on its own, and it's low fat. There's no oil in this. So if you really are wanting to be health conscious, turn it into a vegetarian one just by not putting in the chicken, and you can actually use a vegetarian stock, and that works beautifully too. I want to just taste it because I need to see if it needs more miso paste. It gives it a saltiness, so be careful. And we had stock powder in there. That's fantastic. It tastes absolutely delicious. Right. So I'm going to put the noodles in first. And I've just drained them, no water, nothing. And just remember, if you're making a soup and you haven't used it straight away or not going to use it immediately, keep it cool without the lid on the pot. Because if you keep the lid on, it tends to go sour. Stock and a hot lid don't work very well together. So rather keep the lid off, let it cool on its own, and only put the lid back on when it's cool. I'm getting so many gorgeous colors here. It looks absolutely wonderful. You want to serve this straight away, because if you don't, your spinach and your coriander are all going to change color. I'm just going to top it with a little bit of coriander here, and that gives you that authenticity that makes it really Japanese or Asian. Doesn't that look fantastic? So healthy, so vibrant, and with the color, it really works beautifully. When we come back, we'll be making some butternut and feta muffins and a crispy baked lemon and dill fish. Don't go away. Hi and welcome back to Food in a Flash. I've been roasting some butternut in the oven for my butternut and feta muffins. I've drizzled them with a little bit of olive oil, some salt and pepper, and they've been in for about 20 minutes, so they're ready to pop into those muffin tins. So what we need to do for these is take some eggs, Parmesan cheese, and some milk. If you really want to get crazy, you could use cream, but we want to be health conscious here. What's great about these is they don't have a crust. So they're actually wheat-free for those of you that are wheat intolerant, and they make a very nice accompaniment to a dish like my crispy baked fish, which we'll make later. So what I'm going to do is add some Parmesan to the eggs and some milk, a little bit of salt and pepper, and I'm just going to beat that with a little hand beater so it gives me a nice fluffiness. Okay, that's perfect. So I'm going to spoon that, and what I've done is I've actually sprayed my muffin tin already, so it has some spray and cook just so that they're easy to get out. We want to fill them about 3/4 full, almost to the top, but I still need to put the butternut and the feta inside, so I don't want to overfill them because they're going to puff in the oven. That looks fantastic. Okay, so now let's drop a little bit of butternut into each one of these. And as you can see, I've just kept them into small chunks because the muffin tins aren't so big. And you could use anything. I mean, it's actually a really versatile recipe. You could add mushrooms, you could add asparagus. If you were doing asparagus, however, don't pre-cook them. Just cut them into little pieces and pop them in because they'll actually bake while they're in the oven. Okay, my feta goes in now. Now these take about 20 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes. When they're beautifully puffed and firm, you know they're ready. I sometimes take them out and then just reheat them just before we serve. So my oven's been preheated to 180 degrees. Always bake in the middle. It gives you the most even temperature. Excellent. And that's all there is to it. Let's pop them in the oven. I'm going to make a delicious crispy baked fish with a lemon dill sauce, and what I want to show you is how nice it is for gluten-free people. I meet so many people who say I need gluten-free, wheat-free, and this one is fantastic because it's egg whites that we're going to beat. We're going to dip them into some brown rice flour with some Kellogg's crumbs and seasonings, and that's going to be baked in the oven on a rack just to keep them nice and crispy. So there's no fat involved at all, and it's really delicious. The hake that I'm using is perfect for this dish because if it's not brown enough, you can just let it go a little bit longer. So it's a soft fish hake. It can cook for however long we need. I'm going to mix my dry ingredients first. So I've got the brown rice flour, the cornflake crumbs, some paprika, a little bit of onion salt, and I actually play because I use any seasonings that I've got in the kitchen, a little bit of salt and some black pepper. Mix that really well together. This is going to give me that nice crumb coating on my fish, and I need to dip it into some egg whites first, so I'm going to beat those just to get them nice and fluffy so that the crumbs will stick to the fish. Perfect, they're just fluffy and light so that I can coat my fish. So first into the egg whites, then into the crumb mixture, and you can cut your fish as big or thin as you want, depending on what size fillets you want. I normally do it to the size serving that I need. Right, that's fantastic. You can see it gives it a lovely fluffy coating. And what's even nicer is that there's no egg yolk, so the cholesterol is gone as well. I do need to turn these halfway while they're in the oven. So what I'm going to do is put them on the grill, or put the oven onto grill, put them under the grill but in the middle of the oven, because with the crumbs I don't want them to burn. So 20 minutes should be absolutely perfect for this, but if it's not done, just turn it off grill and leave it in for a little bit longer. Let's put it in the oven and see what happens. So we're going to make a lemon dill sauce to go with that crispy baked fish. It's very quick and easy, 2 minutes. I've got a light mayonnaise, but you could use a very light yogurt or fat-free yogurt if you'd like. I prefer mayonnaise because it just gives you a slightly creamier taste. I'm going to add some pickled cucumbers. It's kind of like a tartar sauce, but homemade with a little bit more dill. 1, 2, 3. We'll just season it a bit and give it a stir, and that's how quick and easy it is. And this can be kept in the fridge and even made ahead of time if you want it. So if you really like it, bake some more because you can use it anytime. Goes nicely with freshly grilled fish as well. Right, let's pop it in a bowl, and now we just need to wait for our fish to get ready. One thing that I like to tell you is that if we ever have a sauce that's a bit thick, I like to take some water and just thin it out slightly so that it gives it that little loose effect. And with yogurt, it will be much looser. But with this sauce, with mayonnaise, it's a little bit thicker. So I'm going to grab some water, just pour a drop in here. Because water doesn't dilute the flavor. What it does is just dilute the actual texture. And that makes it even easier to use. So we don't want it too thick. That's perfect. I'm just giving it a good stir, and you can see it's loosened it immediately, and that's ready to go. A little bit of salt and pepper, not too much because it's got lots of flavor already from those beautiful herbs. Perfect. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, our fish and muffins should be ready, and we're going to finish with a delicious green bean and sesame salad. Welcome back. We're finishing off this delicious meal with a green bean and sesame salad. And I'm going to pop my beans into this pot and blanch them for about 5 minutes. They are medium thick beans, so they will take about 5 minutes. And the secret to blanching is to have a pot of water boiling, put some salt into the water, and I have another bowl of ice water ready, so that as soon as they're ready, I'm going to put them into the ice water to stop them cooking, and that sets the color. So the cooking time is essential. It's important to watch that cooking and even undercook slightly. To go with it, we're going to toast some sesame seeds, and I've already toasted these. Take the sesame seeds, spread them on a baking tray, about 140 degrees in the oven, 10 minutes, and they don't pop all over the place like you do when you put them in a pan. I love that little bit of golden color. So we're going to make a dressing for the green bean and sesame salad. It's a very simple dressing that needs to be blended. I have a white balsamic vinegar here, some olive oil, and it's a light salad olive oil, parsley, some mint, and a little bit of red onion, and I'm going to blend the whole lot together in a food processor. Okay, the parsley, fresh mint, my balsamic vinegar, some salt. Salt always brings out the flavor in a dressing, it's fantastic. And some black pepper. And on we go. And that is fantastic. Right, so let's check our beans. The test to them is that they need to be crunchy, but you don't want them raw, and generally, the general rule is about 5 minutes. Asparagus, 3, and snow peas literally in and out because they change color straight away. You can see this color's already looking fantastic, but I don't think they're quite done. Doesn't that look gorgeous? So what I need to do is just bend them. They're actually perfect. Straight away into ice water. I often do these the day before. You know, I'm rushing around, I haven't got time, and it's one of those things that if you do it perfectly, you can do them the day before, keep them in the fridge, and they're ready to go. I have a nice dishcloth, and if I keep them overnight, I put them in the fridge in a Tupperware on this cloth. Just mix them around until they're really cold. Okay, and now we just need to get them really dry. Doesn't that look fantastic? What I want to do is grab my fish and my butternut muffins from the oven, and we're ready to plate up. My fish looks absolutely delicious, brown and crispy. My sauce is ready, so let's pop it on a plate. I think a little bit of lemon will give that a nice look. So we'll just cut a little piece. That really goes nicely over there. And maybe a little bit of mint just for decoration. Perfect. Right, the muffins look fantastic. They puffed, come out of the tin absolutely beautifully. And you could actually make these ahead and reheat them if you like. I'm going to just grate a little bit more Parmesan on top, just to give them that finishing touch. Just looks lovely when you finish off nicely. Perfect. So my beans are clean and dry, beautifully, beautifully colored. Into my bowl. We'll sprinkle some sesame seeds over them. Drizzle them with dressing. And it's such a simple salad, which is so nice because you really don't need to make it fussy. That's perfect, more than enough. Just give them a toss. I think we'll need a few more sesame seeds. And I've got some gorgeous color here because I've got the fish, I've got the butternut muffins. They both look similar, but my beans don't. So those give it a really nice color. Just a few more seeds on top. Perfect. And let's not forget our Japanese noodle soup. What a delicious meal we have. Butternut and feta muffins, green bean and sesame salad, a Japanese noodle soup that is quite delicious and aromatic, and our crispy baked fish fillets with a lemon dill sauce. So join us next week where I'll give you some great ideas for a ladies' lunch, including a creamy tomato soup and a seared tuna salad. That's it for this week. Thanks for watching.
You've seen her do it on TV. Now learn to cook with Sharon at one of her fun interactive cooking workshops. From the very basics of cooking to full dinner party meals or cakes and bakes, Sharon Glass has a cooking class or workshop just for you. For more information or to book a spot, visit www.thehomechannel.co.za and follow the link to Food in a Flash. And for one lucky Home Channel viewer, Sharon is offering an interactive workshop for you and 7 of your friends. All you have to do to enter is log on to our website, fill in the online entry form, and you could stand a chance to win this great prize. Entries for the competition close on Sunday the 15th of July.